Bonjour à toutes et à tous.
Hello and welcome to Opinel at the table. Before we sit up at the table, we welcome you here in the workshops of Opinel in Chambéry in Savoie in France. They're working hard, whence the ambient noise. My name is Grégoire Tournon. We're together for about 40 minutes, and during this live program, we're going to go backstage at this brand that everybody thinks that they know. We're going to discover this iconic little knife. We're going to be talking about the history and the values of the company, the brand itself, the different products, innovation, research and development, and many new products, both for the table and for the kitchen. You can ask any questions that you have. We're live, so we'll be answering your questions at the end. The address is Hélène, that's Helen with an E at the end, at north.fr. So to start us off, I'm meeting Luc Simon, co-director of Opinel. Hello, Luc. Thank you for welcoming us here. Why these conditions? Why are we live and digital today? I'm delighted to welcome you here, Grégoire, and delighted to welcome all of you, journalists, salespeople from all over France, salespeople from all over the world. Why this digital live? Well, of course, the pandemic, but there's also an advantage that we're going to be able to talk to a great number of our partners all over the world. And of course, because of the pandemic, there have been very few trade fairs, and we have major new products that we love and that we want to share. Can we talk about delivery difficulties? Yes, of course we can. I think they're going to come during questions anyway. Yes, we have had some problems over these last 2 years with delivery. The context, of course, over the last 10 years have been very strong growth, and over the last 2 years, growth has accelerated. Demand has been very high, both from France and from the whole world, and at the same time, production has been perturbed by COVID. So we've had people absent and major difficulties with our suppliers, mainly in France and in Europe, with raw materials. And the last difficulty has been recruitment. We need significant recruitment. So you're recruiting particularly in the workshops? Yeah, we're recruiting in the workshops. We hope that the situation will improve in the second quarter this year. Where are we at the moment? At the moment, we're in the workshop where salvation will come. This is where our production is going to allow us to respond to demand. We're in the assembly workshop. What are the stages before this assembly? Before assembly, we have work on the blades, so the grinding and the polishing of the blades. We have a very specific type of grinding, which allows the blade to be very sharp and very easy to sharpen. And the shaping of the handles, yeah, right from the 80s, we've had a real competitive advantage because we can shape those handles on machines developed by Opinel. That's 15,000 handles a day. And the ferrule, the turning ferrule, was invented in 1955 by Marcel Opinel. It's a very simple part, but it's actually very complicated to make, to get the right balance between sturdiness and flexibility. And of course, it has to be fitted by hand at the end of assembly. So let me come back to assembly briefly. There are very few parts, actually. I think I've got one in my pocket, one of the folding knives. So there are only 5 parts, and the fact that there are only 5 parts explain why it's simple, it's reliable, and it's such great value for money. And then at the end of assembly, there are 2 very important manual gestures. There's turning the ferrule and the final sharpening of the blade. 5.5 million knives were made here last year, and they were all sharpened manually. And all of that happens here in Chambéry, practically everything. Yes, as we can see, there's a mixture between the machines and manual know-how for the value balance. And as you're right, almost everything happens here. There are a few products that come from outside, but practically the entire company is here. It's a real piece of luck for us, in effect. We have manufacturing, development, research, support, sales, management between myself and Gérard Vignello. And of course the Opinel family, François Opinel, the president, and Brigitte Opinel, the administrator. And so if they have the slightest problem, they can come and see what's happening here. Yeah, that's a very good example. We have a quality head of quality who can be alerted perhaps by customers or by salespeople. He walks 20 meters from his office down to the workshops, and he can see what's happening on the factory floor, in the stock rooms. And in terms of numbers, there's 150 people. We need to be about 170. Yes, we're recruiting. Particularly in the workshops, we have about 100 people, and we need to be 110 or 120. Again, 5.5 million knives per year. That's over 380 million knives made since 1990 over the last 30 years. We have 400 different products, 200 of which have been developed over the last 15 years. So a lot of new products, notably in cooking and on the table. And we have many retailers in France, 70 countries. We're on the 5 continents. There's also a museum in Saint-Jean-de-Maurienne. There's a subsidiary in the United States. And in terms of turnover, as I was saying, growth has been very strong over the last few years, and we've managed 29 million euros. So that's tripled over the last few years. If you were to put all of the Opinel knives made since the beginning, end to end, they would go round the earth twice. Now, we're going to go somewhere a little bit calmer. See you in a moment, just after the Opinel family spirit all over the world.
toujours à Chambéry, en Savoie.
And we're still in Chambéry, in Savoie, at Opinel. We've come out of the workshops, out of the factories, and here we are in the showroom at the table. Of course, the program is called Opinel at the Table, translated by Vanessa simultaneously for people all over the world. So, Françoise Detroyat, Marketing Director, and Benoit, Sublet. Now, we're not wearing our masks, don't worry. We all got tested, we're all negative. So we're going to start off with Françoise. Now, Opinel products are made to be efficient. Now, an efficient product is a product that responds to its basic requirements, its basic specifications. So for a knife, obviously, it's for cutting. It's also a product which is reliable, which is easy to use. It's going to accompany its user for a long time, and you can count on it. Part of the definition of Opinel design, Opinel products are efficient, they're just right, they're not gimmicky. When they were invented in 1970, the folding knife, that was the aim. So number 8 is the one that I have here. It's iconic, it's made in France, and there's a remarkable value for money. How do you manage to get that value for money? We've been investing permanently over the last few years. You can't really see the change. The knife has been around for 132 years, and you can't see the differences. There's very few things that changed over the last 132 years. There's the ferrule, invented in 1955 by Marcel, but there has been a great deal of industrial development. There were machines created by Joseph and then Marcel Opinel with partners, which give us this value for money and allows us to maintain excellent quality with significant volumes. At one point we had to increase our volumes, and we've been able to maintain this price level despite increasing costs for us. And there's also legal protection of the brand. Yes, it's another very important point for the value. Right from 1909, Joseph Opinel created two brands, Opinel and the hand with the crown. Two very important points. And so the brand Opinel, we're talking about efficiency, and Opinel products are made to last. How do you translate this sustainability? It's a significant Opinel priority. It's been a priority since the very beginning, because Joseph Opinel, when he created the product, he wanted to make something robust with local products, with a minimum waste. He had common sense, and it's gone down through the generations, and we're still on that anti-waste policy. It's at the very heart of our environmental policy today. So from its design today, it's a very robust knife. All you need to do is sharpen it and you get right back to the first sharpness. They're very sustainable. It's the opposite of, for example, the textile industry, where you have to get rid of clothes at the end of the season. We are very far from a disposable product here. Let's talk about the wood. Where does the wood come from? The wood mainly used for the handles is renewable. It comes from the local area. 95% comes from the Jura or the Vercors, near here. Very little transport to bring the wood here. And it's easy. Wood is an easy material to work with for the shaping, and it's extremely robust. So beech, which is our iconic material, very sustainable. And of course the other material is steel, and the blade, and it's a recyclable material. For eco-responsibility, it's ideal. And the manufacturing process, eco-responsibility on our process, we're very, very careful. 82% of our suppliers are in our region, so we can limit our transport. So on the site today, we get 100% of our wood chips and wood shavings and use it to heat our workshops and our factories. Yes, it was warm this morning, and it's heated with the wood chips and shavings from shaping the handles. We recycle 100% and we sort 100% of our waste to upgrade or to upcycle or recycle. And we have a virtuous approach to packaging as well. So we use cardboard that we recycle as much as possible. And 50% of our knives are delivered without individual packaging. In 2021, we started to get rid of plastic film on our packaging. So about half of the range already is no longer packaged in plastic. And soon there will be no plastic at all. Now, I also saw that in the car park there are bicycles, electric cars. Yet we have an overall approach within the company. We're looking for eco-responsible solutions every day. We offer electric solutions to our staff, so bicycles and cars. And we have recharging stations, electric charging stations for people who have electric cars. And you have staff members working outside, 320,000 bees, I think. So your products are sustainable and have that longevity. So that longevity is indeed a priority for us. We were talking about it earlier. And then we have an obsession, which is the sustainability of the company itself. When François Opinel took over the presidency after Maurice Opinel, we wanted to set a new goal. What is the main goal for the company? And we decided that longevity was that aim. So financial ratios are a means and not an end. So we're wanting to respect the values of the company. So there's a family value. The company remains independent, belongs to the Opinel family. And that's how we can make it as sustainable, as durable as possible. It's also an element of serenity. It keeps the staff serene. And in terms of the profession, of the craftsmanship, again, that's a question of loyalty. It's what we know how to do best. Knives and cutting-edge products of various sorts. That is our central priority. And this is our raison d'être. Cutting-edge products for all of the positive day-to-day usages. And we have local values. We very much want to continue developing the company in Savoie, because this is where we are best. It's a loyalty to the company. And you don't have to be from Savoie to work at Opinel. Yes, we would. Yes, we're from Savoie, but we're very open. And the other main value for everybody in the company, beyond the success of the company, which of course that we want, but we want this success to have an impact, a positive impact on staff and on partners and on suppliers. And we want it to have a positive impact on the region, and modestly, but we want to contribute a positive to make sure that our environment remains livable. So we've talked about all of the key values. Now we're going to talk about some of the different products. So there are many different worlds of products. I think you probably know some of them, but probably not all of them. Since the beginning of the 20th century, there were already several universes. Right at the beginning, there were kitchen knives and pocket knives. And then during the post-war boom years, there was many products. And then afterwards, we focused on the folding knife, the pocket knife. We have day-to-day products that are easy to use from the garden to the table and beyond the table and the garden. So we have garden knives here and also secateurs. And so the idea is that you're using your knives, you're picking mushrooms, you're picking your vegetables, you come into the house, and once you're in the house, you're using your essential knives. We have kitchen knives, toothed kitchen knives. So I was working in my garden, and now I can come and cook my vegetables with Opinel. Small kitchen knives, big kitchen knives. These are ranges that we developed about 15 years ago. We're very proud of our new range. In memory of Joseph Opinel, we created these. And so these knives are used by major chefs. Yes, there are chefs in schools, the Alain Ducasse school, the Paul Bocuse school. So I've been cooking, gardening, and now I'm going to eat. So table knives. Yes, day-to-day table knives. So home tables, but also Michelin-starred restaurant tables. And there's also a particular product for outdoor. This is a folding knife which is very successful abroad. Some of our products are very successful abroad. Most of our products function very well everywhere, selling well everywhere. but we have this range of nomad knives. So we have the bottle opener, the corkscrew, the bread knife, pocket bread knife, and the pocket peeler. And so you take this with you, camping or on holiday, but also if you're on holiday rental or holiday home. It can be in the wide open spaces in Australia, in the United States, but also in an apartment, in a big city. But you can need these tools for cooking. Now, can we talk about this outdoor knife? Yes, the number 8 outdoor for extreme exterior activities. There's a survival whistle, and it's used by the Chamonix National Ski School. This is part of their equipment. All of their guides go out with this knife, this Opinel knife. So are all the different ranges equally popular in all different countries? Because apparently the outdoor one is popular in the States for van life. Most of our ranges are used in all of the markets all over the world, which is quite remarkable. But there are exceptions. One of the exceptions is this children's cooking knife, Le Petit Chef, the Little Chef, which is extremely successful in the United States. So you can teach your children to cook, but safely. Yes, you can pass your grandmother's recipes down. Yes, of course, transmission from generation to generation is very important. And we also have a range of pocket knives for children, which are also very successful in Germany. So these two products have very strong value of generational transmission, which is very important to Opinel. So there are lots of different worlds, lots of different ranges. And then, of course, Françoise, the must-have is the Opinel number 8. How can you re-enchant? How can you renew this product? Well, it's timeless. It's an essential product. We've multiplied the versions. There's the €10 version, which is classic, and then there's more premium, luxury versions, where we've mixed wood. For example, on the workshop wood, there's ebony and walnut wood. There's one with marquetry of various woods, and then there's ebony and aluminium foil. So these are more luxury versions, but you can still work on developing this knife. Yes, there's a work on the blades as well. We have Damascus blades, we have the black blades, which make it quite contemporary. It's very inspirational, and we're not going to stop there. And you do collaborations. Yes, we've inspired prestigious brands: Hermes, Saint Laurent, Yves Saint Laurent, Supreme, the Coq Sportif, Picture. There's a whole range of big brands that have collaborated with us. Of course, we choose carefully who we collaborate with, but it allows us to reach different target audience. And of course, it nourishes the legend of the number 8, the famous, timeless number 8. Thank you very much. So this program is Opinel at the table, and here we are at the table. Now, don't forget, you can give your questions at ln@north.fr. So that's ln with an e at the end at north.fr. So Frédéric Pautet, Director of Sales France. Hello, Frédéric. So why tableware? It's not really surprising. As we were saying earlier, Joseph Opinel was already offering these products right from the 1900s. But as Luc said earlier, at Opinel, our aim is to is to offer all of the best products for day-to-day use, so including
manger juste après. Et une belle nouveauté, une collection qui est demandée depuis longtemps par les consommateurs, par les clients. On va pouvoir maintenant manger tout
and we have a nice new product, and we're going to be able to eat entirely Opinel, in effect. Yeah, we've had very high demand for this from our customers. So we've chosen a material which is particularly appreciated by people who love a beautiful table, both technically and aesthetically. So we have an entirely steel range. So we've used all of the indispensable products for the table. So spoon, knife, fork, and the name of this collection is Perpétue. So there's 4 pieces, all in monoblock stainless steel. It's a bit type of stainless steel. So we work 2 different steels. So there's a martensitic steel, stainless steel, which is very hard and also allows us to have a micro-toothed blade, which means that it has very durable cutting capacity. And for the first time in Opinel, we're bringing out forks, spoons and teaspoons, nicely shaped, and we're using an austenitic steel. I'm sorry about the numbers. So 18% chrome, 18% nickel. Yes, the chrome means that it's very resistant to corrosion, and the nickel makes it very, very shiny. So this is the Perpétue collection. Why Perpétue? When we started looking at creating this range with the studio Big Game, we wanted to go right back into the roots of the brand, the design roots, first of all, because we have a few nods to our historic traditional silhouettes of our knives, but also the family roots, because Perpétue was the given name of Joseph Opinel's grandmother. And it's a name which is still used today. And according to a website, there's about 60 people today, and it can be either male or female. There's 60 people who are still called Perpétue. And so these family roots were very important to us, and it was a way to render a homage to this woman who would forge nails at the beginning of the 19th century. Since the creation of the company in 1900, the strategy has always been to integrate production in-house. And when that's not been possible, we've always called on subcontractors, qualified subcontractors, right from 1900. So Nogent, where they were building scissors, in Germany there were razors. So here the design was developed here in Chambéry, but for manufacturing of this collection, we don't have here. So we're calling on a subcontractor because we don't have the knowledge yet. So we go and look at the specificities. We're not yet sure just what volumes are we going to be doing, although it's starting well, but it's difficult to invest heavily in technology that we don't yet master and when we don't know what volumes we're going to be generating. So as you can see, these knives match well, or these forks, the other cutlery marks with the whole range of Opinel knives. Absolutely. The creation of this range allows you to set your table in 4 different ways. So there's all Perpétue, so all steel. Or you can integrate, you can bring into that table our existing knives. So the Bon Appétit range, which has a wooden handle, but that doesn't go in the dishwasher. But people do enjoy that contact with the wood. So coming back to your problem for the dishwasher and maintenance, we developed a range. So Bon Appetit Plus range, yes, they're heavy knives, and so it's nice, but if you put them all on the same side of the glass. So this range that you have in your hand, Bon Appetit Plus, which is a polymer handle which resists the dishwasher, damaging the quality. So that's for day-to-day use. And so we want something more chic, smarter. We have the chic table range. That's easy to remember. Our chic table range, we take design elements from our iconic knives, the folding knife. Now, this chic table range has existed since 2008, but this year you decided to rework it. Yes, 2008, so we decided, yeah, it was worth boosting the elegance a little bit more. So we worked with the design studio Big Game to give it a bit more fluidity, a bit more character, personality. So we made it look more clearly Opinel by working on the blade, notably on the yatagan. Now, yatagan is a good word for Scrabble, but what does it actually mean? The yatagan is actually a Turkish saber, which is a very particular, traditionally shaped blade which goes up at the end, and our folding knife has that, our pocket knife has that shape. Right from 1890, Joseph Opinel took inspiration from that for the original Opinel. So that's for the blade, and then for the handle, again, to make it a bit more fluid, we worked on it to have it a bit straighter, a bit more sober, and we worked on the bolster. So on this range, the bolster is a bit smaller and a bit more sober. This is the bolster. So this isn't the ferrule. This isn't the ferrule. It's the bolster. So in terms of the wood, so this range has been widely appreciated by consumers since 2008. So we've kept these four beautiful woods that we've always had. So that's beech, birch, ebony and ash. And we've got a new range available at the beginning of March, and that will be available at the beginning of March this year. It'll be up to €100 for the ash range and up to 200 for the ebony. So the chic table is being reinvented. I know there's going to be a third announcement. We have another new product, which is also arriving in March, also in table. Ah no, this is a cooking knife. So, a new product, which is in fact a peeler. I've already sat up to the table without having to cook. So what I wanted to show you was this peeler. So a novelty coming in March, a new product. It's called T Duo. So why Duo? I can see why T. So T because it's in a razor shape, and why Duo? It's because it has a double function. It's both a peeler. So let me peel, and if I turn it over, there's a special apparatus to make julienne. Julienne is like vegetable spaghetti. So if you push on it, you can make vegetable spaghetti. And the little ergot is to take out the eyes, take the eyes out of potatoes. So we have micro-toothed blade, which has been carefully designed to peel all vegetables carefully, including thin skins like tomatoes or shiny skins like aubergines. And there are several versions, so there are two wooden versions. So we find standard classic Opinel design, and there's also a 100% polymer design which goes in the dishwasher. There's various colours, blue, green, red, and available this March 2022. So €9.90 for the polymer, for the plastic version, and €12.90 for the wooden version. That's public retail price. So you're able to ask your questions, and our questions are coming up now, in fact. So the first question, which I guess is for Luc, what's the role of the Opinel family today? The Opinel family today, François Opinel, our president, and Brigitte, his sister, who's the administrator. They're the children of Maurice Opinel, who was president until 2016. And many of us were lucky enough to work with Maurice Opinel. And Brigitte and François are the great-grandchildren of the founder, Joseph. So they are shareholders and, of course, very active in the company, very, very interested and invested in the company. Together, they set and guarantee the values we were talking about earlier. They work on the key goals. We share important decisions with them, along with Gérard Vignello, who directs the company, who manages the company with me. And now we've had another question. It's the problem of price rises because of raw material price increases. So yes, we're looking for new suppliers for raw materials, getting them as efficient as possible. We're also trying to improve our own productivity, but there is a point at which it may impact us in the upcoming months or years. And I've got another question asking about future collaborations, upcoming collaborations. There will be further collaborations, but I'm not going to be able to tell you who with, not today. It's part of the company's strategy. It nourishes the brand, makes us even more famous with the public. But so there will be launches, so keep up to date. What about the meaning of the crowned hand? So the crowned hand, it's St. John the Baptist's blessing hand. And it's the emblem of the town, Saint-Jean-de-Maurienne. And so Opinel added the crown to remind people that it was a duchy. Savoie used to be a duchy. And why are there no knives with engraved blades? It's a question that we received. It's a good question. One, there's no absolute reason why we couldn't have engraved blades. But we did have engraved blades. Every 2 years we do a series with an artist. And one of those series, there was an engraving on a black blade. There was also a limited series for the Tour de France, but it is quite rare. We've done more engraving on handles than on blades. Yeah, so we could have personalization of the blade. Yeah, we don't sell ranges that are engraved with names or other personalizations, but of course the customer can always get things engraved. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to answer all of your questions, but please do carry on sending them and we will answer the questions that you send. So Hélène with an E at north.fr. We're just reaching the end. Luc, a conclusion perhaps. We were delighted to have you here, delighted to have all of our partners here, and very, very pleased to be able to show more the company. I think many people know it quite well, but it's a young company that is 132 years old, but young because we're forward-facing, very much durable, sustainable, long-lasting, and we're very pleased to have been able to show you these new ranges. The smart table, the chic table, the tea duo, and the new products that Françoise was talking about earlier. And we hope that these new ranges We will be able to show you them and we will be able to see you in real life soon. Perhaps in September, probably. We hope so. And of course, you're always welcome here. We hope to see you in real life soon. Thank you to everyone. Thank you for following this live broadcast. And there will be a replay available. You'll get the link very soon. So if you haven't been able to watch the whole thing, don't worry. You'll be able to watch the replay from a link you'll get in an email. So thank you very much. I was delighted to be presented here, and thank you to the technical team. And we're off for lunch. Bon appétit.